Welcome to A Moment of Xen. Time to sit back and relax as model, actress, mentor, and supermom Xen Sams takes you on a sexy and wild ride, covering the latest in film, fashion, pop culture, cryptocurrency, fintech, cannabis, and entertainment from the millennial mom's perspective. Here's your host, Xen Sams.
Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to A Moment of Xen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. I'm your host, Xen Sams. Here's to another exciting episode. It's such a pleasure to spend my time with you on the airwaves. Thank you for tuning in every Saturday and engaging with me on social media. That truly makes it all worthwhile. Please continue to follow me at Xen Sams. That's Xen with an X, not a Z. And remember, all episodes of A Moment of Xen are available directly on our YouTube channel, Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern via digital streaming. And you can also check us out on your home TV platform. That's family-friendly, free programming to you at mox.yourhometv.com. Welcome back alongside our experts on the microphone, where we cover fashion, film, pop culture, cryptocurrency, cannabis, fintech, and health, and yes, everything in between from the millennial mom's perspective. In the Hydration with Heart segment brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut, we're joined by recording artist Dave East, chatting Karma 4, his latest release, legacy, and staying true when the labels fade. This is a story of creative hydration, refilling the spirit, reclaiming ownership, and remembering why you started in the first place. In the hospitality feature of the month, we take a look at Toronto's only Forbes 5-star boutique hotel, the Hazelton. We're going in with Jessica Rodrigues, exploring how the Hazelton Hotel sets the global standard for modern luxury hospitality through design, dining, partnerships, and incredible guest experiences. In our Going Deep segment brought to you by CO2 Lift in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, today we're joined by one incredible guest, cancer warrior, influencer, and advocate, Philecia La'Bounty. In the Clean Collective segment brought to you by Society Brands, we are talking the dirty truth about makeup and how crunchy is changing the game with two trailblazing founders, Melanie Petschke, a board-certified nurse practitioner, and Kelly Krausler, a lifelong wellness advocate. In our Health Tip of the Week brought to you by Suspera, with fall in full swing and winter just around the corner, we're talking about what you need to know to keep your skin healthy during seasonal shifts. In our Brain Blueprint Express segment brought to you by the Melillo Centers, Dr. Lynn Mancinelli discusses her son's remarkable brain balancing journey thanks to the incredible Dr. Robert Melillo. Stay tuned. Coming up next in the Going Deep segment, cancer warrior still in the fight of her life, Philecia La'Bounty. You're listening to A Moment of Xen. I'm your host, Xen Sams. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Xen is brought to you by Tortora Promotions, specializing in white glove digital marketing, social media management, professional videography, and PR services. Based in New York City and partnering with hundreds of businesses nationwide, they deliver proven strategies that bring more customers through the door. If your old marketing methods aren't keeping up, Tortora Promotions can step in to help you stay ahead. Grow your brand and drive real results. Reach out today and follow them on Instagram at Tortora Promotions. Your business deserves it.
Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to A Moment of Xen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. I'm your host, Xen Sams. Welcome back to the Going Deep segment brought to you by CO2 Lift in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Today, we're joined by one incredible guest, cancer warrior, influencer, and advocate, Philecia La'Bounty, a dear friend. She's living, breathing proof of what happens when women are told no and choose to say yes to themselves anyway. Philecia was just 29 years old when she found a lump in her breast back in 2018. And despite her instincts and despite asking for help, she was denied a mammogram twice. She had no family history, no genetic predisposition, and no insurance at the time. The system failed her. By the time she was finally diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer, it had already spread to her lungs, lymph nodes, and sternum. She was told she may not live to see her 35th birthday. But with proper treatment, she beat the odds and was in remission by late 2019. However, in early 2023, she was thrown back in the ring, facing a more aggressive HER2 positive breast cancer, a battle she's still fighting today. For context, nearly 1 in 8 women in the U.S. will develop invasive breast cancer in her lifetime. And studies show that delayed or denied screening increases the risk of late-stage diagnoses by as much as 60%. Felicia's story embodies both the cracks in our healthcare system and the resilience of women who refuse to be dismissed. She's going to join me right now to share her fight against breast cancer, strategies to navigate treatment side effects, and how she continues to redefine resilience and live life despite her diagnosis. Welcome to the show, superstar.
Oh, I appreciate you so much. It's the pleasure is all mine. I'm so thankful to be back with all of you.
So let's break this down a bit and go back to the beginning in 2018. So after discovering that initial lump in your breast, you requested a mammogram, obviously flagging that something was wrong, and you were denied not once, but twice.
Yes.
What was it like to be dismissed in that moment, especially knowing what unfolded afterward? And what advice would you give to others who are facing similar dismissals when advocating for their own health?
I think in the moment I was young. I was only 29. I didn't have any health issues. I didn't take medication. I went to the doctor once a year for my yearly just maintenance. I was a little perplexed on why they wouldn't do more testing, but I trusted them. They said my blood work was good. The ultrasound didn't show anything. I was too young. And at that time, I had not seen anybody my age fighting cancer or breast cancer. It was always just an older woman's disease. And so I was just went on about my life. I said, okay, like they said, it was fine, nothing to worry about. It was always lingering in the back of my head, but I just said, trust your doctors, trust what they told you. As the lump started to grow, that's when I really looked inside myself and had a conversation with myself and said, does this feel right? Do you think that you should go back in? And I just knew that something was not right. So I went back in and I was right. I should have listened to my gut much earlier, but I was just trying to reassure myself that nothing was wrong. I think I was scared to face the truth. And for others that are in similar situations, if you truly feel like something is not right, that your gut is screaming at you, listen. Don't feel like you're a burden. Go find a different doctor, someone that you'll connect with better, someone that will listen to you. I would have rather wasted money on a test for it to be negative than to be in the situation that I'm in now.
Wow. That really highlights how dangerous medical gatekeeping can be, right? And according to recent data, younger women under 40 account for about 10% of all new breast cancer cases, yet they're often told exactly what you were told, that they're too young for cancer. So your story underscores how critical self-advocacy is and just how trusting your gut can truly save your life. Now, after years of remission, you are battling a new diagnosis, an aggressive HER2, HER2 positive breast cancer, and you've since endured a double mastectomy, reconstruction, sepsis, 12 more rounds of chemo, 24 rounds of immunotherapy, and several other treatments that unfortunately just didn't work. But now I know you found a treatment regimen that appears to be making great progress against your cancer, and you're hopeful, and so is everyone else. We're all rooting for you right now, Philecia. You have
Thank
no
you.
idea how many people are in your corner. And again, this is so much to unpack, but Philecia, how has the second diagnosis and chapter reshaped your understanding of resilience? And with so much seemingly stacked against you, how do you continue to find that hope?
Um, when I was re-diagnosed, I went into it thinking, "Oh, I've already done it before. Like, it's definitely not worse. You had it in both your lungs, your sternum. I was filled with cancer. Like, this can't be anything." And I was dead wrong. The second battle it has definitely been much harder. It has truly shown the type of strength that I have so deep inside of me and to dig deep within my whys, my resilience, to find parts of myself that I didn't know I had. Because there comes a point when, and personally in my fight, and I think I've connected with a lot of long-term cancer fighters, is it, the monotony of the treatments starts to become too much, and you have to find other reasons than yourself to fight. And it just makes you realize who is in your circle, who has your support. Do you have everything that you need to keep going? Because becomes a time that you're just tired. Like it's a lot and it's a constant and it's always why do I have to keep doing this? Why is nothing working? Um and I just feel like it unfolds different strengths in yourself just to continue I mean, for a lack of better words, you're just torturing yourself with treatments, praying that something works. And it becomes very overwhelming. And you have to dive into the things in life that you love the most to continue pushing.
Wow. I mean, Felicia, you speak with such grace and poise and strength, and what you've endured is is extraordinary. So let's talk a little bit more about treatment, especially the side effects. So while chemo and other medications are largely necessary, they do come with a long list of side effects, both physical and emotional. And
Yes.
many women hesitate to talk about the more personal side effects of cancer treatments. For example, how treatment affects vaginal and sexual health. Now, you're well known for being transparent online and encouraging other women to advocate for their bodies. So I'd love to know, to address side effects such as these, what modalities or treatments have you turned to? Maybe there's a treatment out there that other women need to know about. I know that you've tried the CO2 Lift V for vaginal rejuvenation, and
Mhm.
how have they supported your physical healing? I mean, your confidence, a sense of reclaiming your body after trauma.
Yeah, one thing that they don't tell you is through a lot of these treatments, you will be put into menopause, whether that's medically induced menopause. Unfortunately for me, I was allergic to that med. And so we had to do an oophorectomy, which is removal of my ovaries and fallopian tubes, which immediately put me into menopause at late 30. I think I was 30 or 31. Um, and when you're that young going through cancer treatments, their job is just to keep you alive. And so a lot of the side effects are up to you to find and research and look for alternatives, talk to people. And I think the issue is that when you're not open with your side effects and what's happening, you can't find those resources. And thankfully, I'm a big mouth. I talk about everything, and there's not a whole lot I don't discuss online. And vaginal health has been something that I've been meaning to bring up and find ways to help others connect in that sense. But until a few months ago, I had not found a treatment that actually worked, that was sustainable, that really gave you back your freedom when it comes to your vaginal health and comfort, until I found CO2V. And I've tried, I think I'm on 6 treatments right now, and I have already noticed a difference in just my comfort level, just the feeling, the discomfort is starting to go away. And I'm 7 years into menopause. So to find something that is helping when I've been dealing with the side effects for so long, I can only imagine how much that product would help somebody that's just in the beginning of their menopause journey. And it really has been life changing in just the comfort of my body, and feeling like, wow, I found relief for a lot of the issues that I've been dealing with that nobody really talks about.
It's really a game-changing product, and I love that it's clinically verified. I love that it's clinically researched. I love
Yes.
that the hydration is a big proponent of it because of that neoangiogenesis, that increased rush of blood that it sends to the area that it's treating. It's really great, a great sustainable product. And your transparency is so powerful. And when you look at the research, it shows that up to 70% of women undergoing chemotherapy or hormonal therapy report sexual dysfunction. Yet, to your point, less than 20% ever bring it up to their doctor. So, by talking about this openly, you're helping destigmatize an entire area of survivorship that too often gets ignored. So, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Now, again, as someone who empowers and inspires other women to fight, how do you see CO2 Lift V and similar wellness modalities helping shift that narrative, not just to beat cancer, but to live beautifully during and beyond treatment?
I think just knowing that there's a company that has that in mind, that is so passionate about helping with those issues that are so intimate that a lot of people don't want to talk about, it just is another tool in your tool belt to help you feel as normal as possible when every other normal activity feels impossible. And to have a company that is fighting for that right, that is not shy about talking about it and giving you a platform to find products in such a beautiful way. Like when you go onto the websites and to the socials, you can feel the passion. And I think that's so important, because a lot of the times treatments and products are pushed on cancer patients in a very greedy way, and you can feel that from the companies. But to know that CO2V and CO2 Lift are just there for us, that there is such a drive and passion behind it, it just makes you feel so much more comfortable opening up to their customer service, or just sending them a message, asking them about the product, or just researching it on your own. It just feels a lot more comfortable and more normal than it does feel uncomfortable.
I love how you frame it because it's not just surviving, but thriving. Now, I think many doctors and even patients themselves become so focused on beating cancer that other aspects of life and the body are pushed aside, such as, like we talked about, vaginal health. And that's why it's truly inspiring to see treatments, and I'm going to reiterate what you just said, and companies like CO2 Lift V helping women reclaim that vaginal and sexual wellness, and to see people like you documenting your journey so openly. And I love, like you said, your transparency. You're just an open book, whether it's a message of hope one day or a raw, honest cry the next. You really are very transparent. And even while battling breast cancer, you've shown that you are so much more than a diagnosis, which is often overlooked. And I know I know you right now have made it your mission. When we spoke at the last the glam room, you said, I want to live as normal as possible, even with cancer. And I remember you saying that to me. So what does normal life look like for you right now? And what do you hope people take away from your journey and the way you lead your life?
I think normal life is a little hard right now for me because I still am in such active treatment. But I think it's just about making every other aspect of my life just as important as my cancer care, skin care, vaginal care, sexual health, social life. I think concentrating on those parts of my life just as much as I am about my cancer, it gives you more. It feels more like, oh, it's just a chronic illness that I go to the doctor for, and I deal with some stuff. But then look at all the other things that I do, and I feel like I've made that very high on my priority list throughout my journey, is to keep life and normal. Um, yeah, it's hard because cancer consumes you so deeply. But I know that waking up every day and being excited for normal things, and creating friendship groups and support systems, and finding companies like CO2V and CO2 Lift just adds to your list of reasons why. Because life feels so much better when you let cancer consume every aspect of your life, and that's all that it is. It is very daunting, and it does become more of a depression than a fight. And so I've chose to concentrate on the good, be an advocate, and find companies and platforms like you, just to help bring more quality of life.
You are amazing. It's so inspiring because when we think of survivorship, it's not just about extending years, it's about filling those years with meaning and joy. And the fact that you continue to model what a normal life with cancer looks like is giving thousands of women permission to embrace their whole selves and diagnoses and all. So you are paving the way. You've gone where there is no path, Philecia, and you're leaving a great big trail. You should be very proud of
Thank you.
yourself. And we are
Thank
at the end. Thank you so much for joining me again. You are incredible and so inspiring.
Thank you so much for another amazing platform to help spread awareness. I could not do this without people like you. So thank you.
You're so welcome, my dear. For our listeners, Philecia's story is a powerful reminder to trust your body, speak up, and never stop advocating for yourself. To follow along with her journey, you definitely want to check her out on the gram at Philecia. That's Philecia. She's on TikTok as well, at Philecia La'Bounty. And that was our Going Deep segment, brought to you by CO2 Lift. I'm your host, Xen Sams. We'll be right back after this.
New York, are you ready to carboxify the city? Meet CO2 Lift, the breakthrough topical carboxy therapy trusted worldwide by surgeons, estheticians, and skin enthusiasts alike. This isn't just another mask. It's an oxygenating treatment that hydrates deeply, stimulates collagen, and helps skin recover and glow like never before. And now, for the very first time, we're bringing it straight to you. The CO2 Lift pop-up store is opening later this month in New York City. Step inside, discover the science and see why professionals everywhere rely on CO2 Lift to elevate skin health. You'll get education, demos, and a chance to experience the treatment that's creating a whole new category in skincare. So whether you're in the industry or just love taking your glow seriously, this is your invitation. Join us at the CO2 Lift pop-up store and help us carboxify the city together. The countdown to glow starts now. Follow CO2 Lift on Instagram at CO2 Lift to learn more.
Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Welcome back to the Hydration with Heart segment, brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut. It's all about replenishment, not just for the body, but for the soul. And when it comes to staying true, staying raw, and staying real, few artists embody that better than Dave East. Born and raised in Harlem, he's one of hip-hop's sharpest storytellers, a former basketball standout who swapped the court for the mic, turning pain into poetry and grit into greatness. From his Def Jam debut Survival to his brand new independent release Karma 4, Dave East has proven that evolution isn't about leaving your past, it's about rewriting your future. Karma 4 brings us Nipsey Hussle, Jeremiah, Jacquees, and Wiz Khalifa. But more than that, it brings us growth, gratitude, and a glimpse at what independence really sounds like. Welcome to the show, superstar.
How you doing? What's up?
So, Dave, let's chat the turning point. You went from a Def Jam artist to an independent powerhouse with Karma 4. Most artists talk about freedom, but few actually claim it. So what did independence teach you about your own power, and how did it change the way that you create music right now?
Just total creative control. I feel like being on the label for the last 10 years, I learned a lot. So just moving forward, I think me being independent, it works for me, my team, and I just don't have as many hands in the pot. I don't have as many people giving a point of view on my creation. You know what I mean? So I feel like independence is the route. I could just make the music I want to make.
When you look at Karma 4, you kind of proven that evolution isn't just about leaving your past, but it's kind of like rewriting your future, right?
Right, 100%. I feel like your past, it definitely creates who you are, but I don't think it defines you.
So let's chat about legacy and brotherhood. So your track features an unreleased verse from Nipsey Hussle, someone who stood for ownership and legacy long before it was trendy. So when you listen back to that verse now, what does it remind you about loyalty, timing, and brotherhood in this game?
That was the bro, you know. I learned a lot from him as far as moving independently, standing on your brand. So yeah, I learned a lot with Nip.
And it's truly beautiful when legacy keeps talking, even when the voice is gone. Now I'm going to go from the balance. I really want to talk about this because the industry celebrates hustle culture, but burnout is very real. A recent study found that like 75% of artists struggle with anxiety or exhaustion from constant output. How do you keep your peace when the grind never stops? And what keeps you centered when the noise gets too loud?
Speaking with my kids, speaking with my mother, my father, the people that was around me before any fame came, I keep them close to me. I go to the gym. That's how I really keep my peace and my mind at a certain place. What else? I really just try to spend as much time with family and people that really don't care if I'm famous or not. Because I feel like once the Dave East name got out there, it's just harder to trust and read people. So I'd rather stay around the ones that I know they really got my back.
I love that. Peace as a flex. Because honestly, balance is the new Bentley. And I think your fans feel that evolution in Karma 4. All right, I'm going to pivot to storytelling and survival. Now, you have been praised for cinematic storytelling, painting Harlem with words the way Nas did for Queensbridge. So when you sit down to write, do you still write from survival or from success?
Both. The survival point of view never leaves, but I'm just speaking from a different perspective now, being older, not actually having to survive what I was surviving. You know what I mean? Like that's definitely changed. But I think I'm speaking from both perspectives. Definitely being a father now, changed my outlook on just what I'm speaking about, different topics, the way I speak on records. Yeah, I would say both.
All right, let's check the message behind Karma 4. So karma is such a loaded word. It's accountability, it's cause and effect, it's closure. So when people finish listening to Karma 4, what do you want them to walk away feeling or realizing about themselves?
Accountability, closure, growth. To me, karma is what you put out into the universe. Individually, like each person, whatever you feel like you putting out, the karma of what you put out, that's what come back to you, whether it's negative, positive, because it's good and bad karma.
It's what you pour into the world coming back in new flavor, right? Kind of like Once Upon a Coconut. Now we're going to go from fatherhood straight to focus because they go hand in glove. So you've spoken before about being a father and how that shifted your vision. For so many artists, truly, the real transformation does happen off stage. So how has fatherhood changed the way you define success and the kind of legacy you want to leave behind?
I'm just more thoughtful about my moves, my decision making. I'm living for other people. You know what I mean? For the longest, it was me really doing it for myself, my moms. But now, like when I see my little girls, it's a totally different drive inside of me to take it to the sky. Like, you know what I mean? Like take this as far as I can take it. So where I know for surely, like when my number's called, I left something real meaningful for them. And they getting older. I grow with them. They grow with me. It's like it's beautiful. I'm learning from them. They learn from me.
That right there is everything. We talk about generational wealth, but you're building generational wisdom, and that's the kind of hydration that keeps flowing long after the mic drops.
Right.
So the real recipe. So if you could bottle up one ingredient that kept you grounded throughout the fame, the criticism, and the chaos, what would it be?
I would say humility. I treat the janitor the same as the executive. You know what I mean? Like I show everybody love. You know what I mean? Like that comes to me, or you know what I mean? Any situation I be in, I try to lead with love. And I think that's what's been the main ingredient for me.
Well, we are at the end of our date, my dear friend. Dave, this was pure nourishment for the culture. I want to thank you for reminding us that real success isn't about numbers. It's definitely about nourishment. Everyone, make sure you stream Karma 4. It's out right now, and you can follow Dave on the gram directly at Dave East. This was the Hydration with Heart segment brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut, where staying hydrated isn't just about what's in your bottle, it's about what's in your spirit. Until next time, keep your hustle pure, your purpose hydrated, and your energy high. You're listening to A Moment of Xen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Xen is brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut.
Discover the refreshing taste of 100% pure coconut water that actually tastes great. Naturally sweet with no artificial flavors or added sugar. It's packed with electrolytes to keep you hydrated throughout your day. And with 10% of profits going to charity, every sip makes a difference. Pure taste, pure goodness. Experience nature's Gatorade. Visit Once Upon a Coconut or naturesgatorade.com. Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to A Moment of Xen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. I'm your host, Xen Sams. Today, we're taking you into the heart of Yorkville, Toronto's most glamorous neighborhood, and inside the city's only Forbes 5-star boutique property, the Hazelton Hotel. Known for its timeless design, Michelin-recognized dining at one restaurant. I've been there many times. It's fantastic. And its position as both retreat and cultural hub, the Hazelton truly has become a symbol of Canadian luxury hospitality on the world stage. Joining me is Jessica Rodrigues. She's Director of Marketing and Communications at the Hazelton Hotel and One Restaurant. She's a dynamic marketing leader with over a decade of global experience from London to Toronto, and she's helped shape some of these cities' most iconic hospitality brands. Under her leadership, the Hazelton has earned international accolades, expanded cultural partnerships, and redefined what it means to offer a 5-star guest experience. Welcome to the show, superstar.
I love your show, and I really appreciate this.
Absolutely. So let's dive right in. The Forbes 5-star standard. So, Jessica, you know this. There's only about 0.2% of hotels worldwide that hold a Forbes 5-star rating. And the Hazelton stands as Toronto's only boutique property with this very distinction. So, what does that honor represent for your team? And how do you bring that level of excellence to life for every guest?
I know. I mean, you're right. It is the standard of global luxury. So we are very honored. I'm wearing my little Forbes 5-star pin today. So for our team, obviously, it represents an extraordinary honor, first and foremost. But also, I would say a daily commitment. I mean, everyone here is really passionate about their job. We all really care. We care about the guest experience. We care about the property. We care about what we do. I think hospitality attracts people who love working with other people, really love creating experiences for our guests. So really just holds us to a standard that we all strive for every day.
And Yorkville has a global stage already. I know that for a fact. And it's very comparable to some places right here in New York City, because Yorkville is not just Canada's fashion capital. It's a 2.6 billion retail corridor and cultural anchor, home to TIFF premieres, galleries, and luxury flagships. And the Hazelton is right at its center. So how do you blend that vibrant neighborhood energy with the intimacy of a boutique retreat?
You say it better than I could. So we are literally at the heart. So we're at Hazelton and Yorkville Avenue. So we are at that intersection. So I think we're uniquely placed within Yorkville. And Yorkville, I mean, we're right at the cusp of Bloor Street, which is known as the Mink Mile. So all of your shopping is right there. All like Chanel, you have YSL, you have like all of the big massive brands are right along Bloor Street. So in terms of shopping destination, this is it, Yorkville. And in terms of just the neighborhood itself, it's beautiful. It's a really vibrant community. And we're also, I would say, big community players. So we have the best patio, I think, in the city. I know I'm biased. So it's right out there on street level. You can see everyone walking by. And then we integrate ourselves by doing community events. So we do, Fleur de Ville. We have events outside. We work with the galleries, as you mentioned, in the neighborhood. So we have tons of stunning art from the Galerie de Bellefeuille, the List galleries across the street, and we partner with them for our offers. So we offer our guests, for example, on one of our packages, like candle making at Candle, which is right around the corner. We did a shopping package with the Webster. So we really integrate our partners in our everyday for our guest experiences, because when you stay at the Hazelton, Yorkville, explore Yorkville. It's gorgeous. Best restaurants. You have Aloe Bar. I mean, aside from one restaurant, you have Julia. There's some of the most Michelin starred restaurants right in our neighborhood. So food, fashion, culture, shopping, art, it's here.
I was just there for TIFF. I was blown
Yes.
away. And I'm a New Yorker. I'm a New York City girl. And I felt right at home. And like I said, we're talking about a 2.6 billion retail corridor is what we're talking about, right where the hotel is located. Now let's chat about the one restaurant I loved eating there every day. I ate there. I wasn't even and I get tired very easy of the same cuisine, but I love the menu. The menu is so versatile and you change it up. So one restaurant isn't just an amenity. It's part of the Michelin Guide and the Michelin Guide Toronto. And it's a destination in its own right, celebrated, like Jessica said, for its design, the menu, and more importantly, the atmosphere. So Jess, what sets one apart as a dining experience, and how does it tie into the Hazelton's luxury promise?
You are spot on. So we're a 2 Michelin key hotel, which we, again, are super honored by. And one restaurant, first of all, it's led by our executive chef, Michael Harlem. So he's brilliant. And everything on the menu is made from scratch. And we use some of the best suppliers, both locally and internationally, for our ingredients. So the food is going to be good quality, no matter what you order. And we also have a pastry chef. Her name is Chef Ashley Stock. And again, everything's made from scratch. We actually have a pastry team. So I think it really starts from the ingredients and inside of the kitchen and the culture in the kitchen. And then when that food comes out, you have all of these different areas. You can come to the bar. So, it's a little sexy, it's a little buzzy. We have DJs spinning from Wednesday to Friday and Saturday nights as well. So that's a really cool spot. Or you can have a proper dining experience in the big dining room, or you can be outside on the patio. And our patio, there's the Yorkville side, which is sun-drenched, beautiful on gorgeous days like this. And we also have an atrium that is weather defiant and all year round. So you can have al fresco dining in the dead of winter in Canada, and you're cozy and you're warm under sort of twinkling lights.
Now, let's go back to something you mentioned earlier, those partnerships, art and lifestyle, right? So studies show 81% of luxury travels seek cultural immersion over material perks. And the Hazelton has stepped up as a lifestyle curator, from Prada beauty activations and Sephora beauty activations that I witnessed to art-driven philanthropy like the Brain Project. So why are these partnerships and cultural initiatives such an important part of your brand identity?
Yorkville is just a really beautiful, safe space where, everyone it's chill, like even though there's lines and buzz and craziness, it's just really fun and there's such a great energy. So a lot of brands come to us to activate because we have the foot traffic. It's a gorgeous spot. And I mean, from a marketing perspective, you have all demographics, all walks of life in Yorkville, right? So you're kind of hitting all of those marks. So that was really fun. And then there's projects that we enter into internally. Like you said, we work with Baycrest. So their Brain Project was a charitable initiative. And again, we brought art. So that was something that we led internally. And then we do tons of partnerships all year round. We also do a lot of collaboration dinners. So we just work with Enigma. We have that; they're also Michelin starred. We did a Claz Azul tasting menu. We are having tons of dinners coming up next year with Chef Keith from Bocuse d'Or. So we have a lot going on across every aspect of our space. Our cinema, we do lots of premieres in our cinema space called the Norman Jewison Cinema, and our Spa by Valmont. We also have a gorgeous spa, and we're doing a masterclass with a lot of our guests outside in November, again in our heated atrium. So all of these partnerships are really important to us to make sure that, our guests, there's always something fun for them to do, then that we're a part of the community.
Yeah, it's so powerful to see a hotel become a stage for culture and community, not just accommodations. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
So let's chat about the future of luxury hospitality. Now, the global luxury hotel market is projected to exceed $160 billion by the year 2030. That's driven by personalization, wellness, and sustainability. And the Hazelton is already leading in those very areas. So where do you see the future of luxury hospitality headed, and how is the Hazelton preparing to stay ahead?
I mean, a lot of people do sort of turn towards technology. I agree. For us, it is that sort of seamless blend of technology, but with human connection, because I think it's not easy. Obviously, it's a lot of work to integrate all of these new technologies, into our spaces. So we have tablet systems in our room, touch systems, upon arrival. We have fun little details like heated floors and, TVs in our mirrors. And we have, all of these fun silent technologies that just make your stay more seamless. But I think the more and more tech enters into our lives, with, let's say, contactless check-in, or, all of those payments, contactless payments, ordering, all of that, the more that enters into our life and becomes at the forefront, I think more so the service comes into play. What's going to set us apart is our custom service, is that personalization. So I think, to your point, if you're a wellness traveler, how do we know that before you arrive, and then B, make sure, if there's perhaps a sample bag of our Valmont products here, we ensure we have extra plush robes in your room so that you can come down to our eucalyptus steam room and our saltwater pool, and we can provide treatment information for you, and then we can offer fresh pressed juice. It's those touches and the human touches, I think, that are going to set us apart, because as tech enters into the stay, personalized human service, I think, becomes more and more important for luxury. That's what sets luxury apart.
You are 100% right. And we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the state-of-the-art screening room that the Hazelton has, that not every hotel has, especially on the boutique side. It's incredibly well architected, very well thought out. I love the design. The seats are comfortable, and it really made a difference for the production companies that were seeking that private screening. So I love that the Hazelton provides that.
Absolutely. And we have DCP capabilities, which means that we can offer pre-screening for the big studios, before their release of their films. So we have 25 seats. They're super plush. It's intimate. The screen is incredible. The sound is incredible. Everything's state of the art in there. And there's also a little, bar foyer area for entertaining. If you want to have a little, some past apps from One, some bar service, some shaken cocktails down there. So yeah, I think it's a really unique space that not a lot of hotels have that really sets us apart as well.
Without a doubt, that vision-driven approach is why you've positioned the Hazelton as not just Canada's best, but a global icon. So kudos to you and your team. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Jessica. It's been such a pleasure chatting with you. I love the hotel, I love the property, and I love the people behind it.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
For our listeners, if you're planning a trip to Toronto and want to experience the very best in Canadian luxury, you can definitely check out the HazeltonHotel.com. You're going to find something that's very inspiring for you on their website, or you can follow them directly on the gram at the Hazelton TO. That was Toronto's only Forbes 5-star boutique hotel inside the Hazelton. And you've been listening to A Moment of Xen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. Stay tuned. There's more luxury, lifestyle, and inspiration coming your way. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Xen is brought to you by Your Home TV with Kathy Ireland and their channel partners. Head to yourhometv.com for free, family-friendly programming, streaming 24/7.
The Kelly Williams Show is brought to you by Serendipity Yacht Cruises and Events. Tune in and turn on your happy. Kelly Williams is full of energy and incredible guests. Watch her anytime, free programming on Your Home TV network, and do follow her on social media for a chance to win monthly prizes. Check out The Kelly Williams Show on yourhometv.com.
Tune in to A Moment of Xen, Saturday nights from 9 to 10 p.m. on 710 WOR, the voice of New York.
Welcome back. You're listening to A Moment of Xen. I'm your host, Xen Sams. In our health tip of the week, brought to you by Suspera, with fall in full swing and winter just around the corner, we're talking about what you need to know to keep your skin healthy during seasonal shifts. These changes can disrupt your skin's protective barrier, leading to dryness and sensitivity. Support it by minimizing harsh products, avoiding excess scrubbing, and focusing on gentle, biocompatible skincare. Use lukewarm water when washing your face and steer clear of anything that strips your skin. A strong skin barrier helps lock in moisture and defend against environmental stressors like wind and cold air, a common culprit in the fall and winter months. So, as the temperature drops, give your skin a little extra care. It'll thank you later. That was our health tip of the week, brought to you by Suspera. Be sure to check them out online at Suspera.com and on the gram at Suspera with a Y. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Xen is brought to you by Suspera. If skin discoloration is making it hard to find your Zen, Suspera can help. Stubborn pigmentation, dark spots, and uneven skin tone concerns go beyond the surface, affecting both confidence and self-expression. In a sea of skincare choices, Suspera stands apart. Backed by science and trusted by dermatologists worldwide, Suspera is powered by the advanced cysteamine isobonic amide complex, delivering clinically proven results and effectively targeting mild to persistent discoloration while restoring the skin's natural glow. Unlike harsh treatments, Suspera is formulated for all skin types, including sensitive areas, ensuring visible improvements without irritation. Whether pigmentation is a new concern or a long-standing struggle, Suspera works in harmony with the skin to bring balance, clarity, and renewed confidence. Suspera is science-driven skincare for confidence that shines. Find your skin zen and restore your glow with Suspera today by heading to Suspera.com.
Welcome back to A Moment of Xen. I'm your host, Xen Sams. This is the Clean Collective segment brought to you by Society Brands, where we highlight trailblazers who are reimagining how we live, consume, and thrive. Today's headliner says it all: the dirty truth about makeup and how crunchy is changing the game. We're diving into two important conversations. First, we're really in mainstream cosmetics and how crunchy is pioneering a cleaner, healthier future for women and their families. And second, uncovering hidden toxins in everyday routines and how crunchy is leading a movement towards transparency, safety, and performance. Now, here's the reality. According to the Environmental Working Group, the average woman uses 12 personal care products a day containing 168 different chemicals, many of which are linked to hormone disruption, reproductive harm, and long-term disease.
And as author Rachel Carson once said, in nature, nothing exists alone. The same is true for our bodies. Every chemical we put onto our skin adds to our cumulative, what we call body burden. And yet, cosmetics remain one of the least regulated industries in America. The FDA hasn't significantly updated its cosmetic safety laws since 1938. You heard that right, 1938. Think about that, nearly a century ago. Meanwhile, consumer awareness is rising, with Nielsen IQ reporting that 65% of women now say ingredient transparency is their top priority. And that's where Crunchy comes in. Founded by Melanie Petschke, a board-certified nurse practitioner, and Kelly Krausler, a lifelong wellness advocate. Crunchy is more than just a cosmetics company. It's a movement. It's built on uncompromising standards of safety, performance, and sustainability. Crunchy is redefining beauty. And as the poet Maya Angelou once said, when you know better, you do better. And that's the heartbeat of Crunchy, empowering women with knowledge and safer choices so beauty becomes a source of confidence, not a compromise. Here it is, the dirty truth about makeup and how Crunchy is changing the game. Welcome to the show, superstars.
Thank you so much, and thanks for having us.
Welcome to the show.
Honored to be here.
All right, Melanie, you've spent over 15 years researching how environmental toxins impact health. Can you explain the concept of body burden to our listeners and viewers, and why even makeup, something so routine, plays a significant role?
Absolutely. The total amount of toxic chemicals that accumulate in your body over time from all sources of exposure in our everyday lives all make up what is considered body burden. The air we breathe, the food we eat, the water we drink, what cleans our homes, our lawns, flame retardants in our electronics and our mattresses, Teflon pots and pans, plastics, even BPA on receipts that you receive at a store. And of course, what we put on our skin, our largest organ, is a huge contributor to body burden. As you heard, on average, a woman uses 12 personal care products daily containing up to 168 chemical ingredients. And I believe that is actually a conservative statement, and definitely starting at a younger and younger age. As you've heard the term Sephora girls, people are starting using cosmetics at a younger and younger age, as young as 7, 8. Makeup is a hotbed for chemical exposure, and they're loaded with many endocrine disruptors and carcinogens in our makeup.
Yeah, it's eye-opening because most of us never connect something as simple as lipstick or foundation to our long-term health. And it's critical to be having this conversation, especially because we do have Generation Alpha that's at the forefront of all these skincare trends and tons of misinformation out there. Now, Kelly, this brings me full circle. Your journey is deeply personal because after cancer touched your family, you began questioning what was in your daily products. Can you take us back to that moment and how it became the spark for launching Crunchy?
Yeah, I think when cancer touches your family or anyone that you love or illness, I think it deeply changes your perspective on life. And I think it's only natural to ask the question of why? Why did this happen? And for me, it really had me take a closer look at my environment and realize how many toxins are in our daily environment and the impact that can have on your health. And when I learned that 5 to 10% of cancer is genetic, the rest of it's from your environmental exposure, my mind was blown. Mm-hmm. And I just doubled down on not only my wellness, I was living a pretty, holistic wellness lifestyle, but really doubled down on limiting the toxins in my life, looking at the food I was eating, what I was bringing into my house, things I was putting on my body. And that's actually when I met Mel, when I was on that journey, and we bonded quickly over living a low tox lifestyle and finding safe alternatives. Yeah. And the one area where we could not find a safe alternative was something that we used every single day, put on our skin every single day. And as we said, our skin is an organ, it's our largest organ, and that was cosmetics and skincare. And that is what led to Crunchy, out of that frustration of not being able to find truly safe products that actually performed as well and still made you feel beautiful and confident. That was why we decided to take the challenge and create a truly safe cosmetic line that actually performed.
That's so powerful. I mean, turning pain into purpose and purpose into a movement that protects others, that's where you're changing the world and solving a problem, right? And it's I think most companies, if they are putting the consumer first, will do the right thing, but unfortunately they don't. A Harvard analysis showed that more than 60% of products marketed as quote unquote clean still contain questionable ingredients. So, and this is an important question, how did you design Crunchy standards to cut through the greenwashing and truly guarantee safety and transparency?
Yeah, that's an excellent question and such an important one because there is so much greenwashing, as you've heard, you've seen. It was absolutely our mission to make it very clear that we walk the walk. We have a banish list of over 10,000 ingredients, and each individual ingredient, in addition to that, must be vetted for safety and quality. So it is not even considered for a formula of ours unless it has been approved and vetted for both safety and quality. In addition to that, all of our ingredients are non-GMO. We prioritize organic ingredients, which is incredibly uncommon in the industry because it's an investment. And also, we are confident in our products because we third-party test not only our ingredients, but also our products for all sorts of things like heavy metals and other contaminants, which again is also very rare and uncommon in the industry, but of course in the conventional space, but even in the clean space. And we really wanted as a company to offer as many easy buttons for consumers as we possibly could. It is really challenging to be a consumer today. It feels like sometimes you need a PhD in chemistry just to shop for your family. And one way that we found is an easy button for our consumers is we have recently become EWG verified, so Environmental Working Group Verification Program. And this is a badge that gives consumers a very quick analysis of our products to feel at ease and to feel confident that what they are purchasing is safe and is backed by that third-party verification. One thing I want to mention, though, is in addition to that EWG verification, we actually go above and beyond at Crunchy because our standards actually have much higher stringent guidelines and standards than even that verification. But we really wanted that option for consumers to easily, quickly be able to assess a product and know that it's something that they can trust.
I love it. It's that grade A. And Kelly, this brings me back to the data. Consumers today are demanding honesty. Nielsen IQ found that nearly 2/3 of women prioritize ingredient transparency. So it's what we're talking about now. How does Crunchy build that trust with women who've been let down by misleading marketing in the past?
Mel touched on a little bit with the EWG verification and some of our other verification programs. But what's so fascinating is from the very beginning when we launched Crunchy, trust and transparency was so important to us. And now it's even more critical because the clean beauty marketplace has exploded. It has grown tremendously over the last 10 years, which is fantastic because more people are aware of why clean beauty is important. However, with that growth, we have a lot of brands that have entered the marketplace that aren't necessarily here for the right reasons. And so you get a lot of mixed messages, you get questionable claims, marketing gimmicks. And so being able to build that trust with our clientele so they know when they see Crunchy, they're going to get a product that is truly safe, truly clean, and also performs. We believe that clean beauty should not be a marketing term. It should be a genuine promise.
That's refreshing. I mean, you're giving women more than just makeup. You're giving them peace of mind.
Yes.
And so, Mel, critics used to say that green products don't perform as well, right? And so how did you and your team crack the code of making cosmetics that are both non-toxic but high-performing without compromise?
Yeah, that was definitely quite the challenge, but Kelly and I both like a challenge. And why don't we add to that sustainably packaged as well? So one thing that really sets us apart that was allowed us to accomplish that is that we identified very early on the need for educating consumers that natural does not always mean safe and synthetic does not always mean unsafe. And I say that in quotes because technically the term natural is not regulated and it can be interpreted many different ways by many different people. But the reality is what one would consider a natural ingredient or what many companies will refer to as a natural ingredient can absolutely not be safe for application on your skin. And same with certain synthetic ingredients. If they are the proper synthetic ingredient and they are well vetted, they can absolutely serve a great purpose in a formula. It can boost the performance and they can be backed by safety data that is robust. So that is essentially our secret sauce that got us launched back almost 10 years ago. And it was that exact formula that we were able to grow a trusted brand that had both the performance that people are looking for in conventional products, but in clean products with that safety data backing the ingredients in each of our products.
That's such a breakthrough. I mean, proving clean beauty can stand alongside luxury brands and sometimes even surpass them. That says it all. Now, Kelly, Crunchy feels more like a community than just a company. Women aren't just buying your products, they're joining a movement. So how intentional was that? And how has community fueled your success?
So community has been a huge part of Crunchy, and it's fascinating to, just think back and know that when we first created this clean beauty brand, it was going to evolve into this unbelievable community and really bigger movement than any brand. And we now have thousands of individuals that not only share Crunchy, but they also share their wellness journey, and they also share about how they live a low tox lifestyle with so many people. And they're doing it through authentic connections that really build that trust and have an impact so much greater than just clean beauty.
Yeah. So, Melanie, when you look to the future of clean beauty, what excites you most, whether it's new research, innovations, and ingredients, or the way simply women are just taking care of their choices?
Yeah, I'd like to say all of the above when it comes to that. There are so many exciting things happening right now in the industry. And really, people are becoming more educated. And this alone is driving the standards for the entire industry, which is exactly what we need, because we don't have that regulation built in for us here in the United States. It just doesn't exist. We have to be our own advocates. We have to be reading our labels, and we have to be independently determining if products are safe. So the more education that consumers have is fantastic across the board for the entire industry.
Yeah. And that vision is so empowering because it's not just about products, right? It's about changing the entire culture of beauty. Finally, Kelly, Crunchy is known not only for its safe ingredients, but also for its conscientious packaging, right? That sustainable packaging we're talking about. So why was sustainability such a priority for you? And how do you balance that with performance and consumer convenience?
I'm going to actually let Mel answer this.
All right.
Yeah.
Take it away, Mel.
You got it. So the global beauty industry produces 120 billion units of packaging annually. 120 billion units of packaging annually. And sadly, with estimates indicating that 95% of the waste is not recycled. So it ends up in landfills, it ends up in our waterways. It's just a disaster. So when we founded Crunchy, we did not want to contribute to this stat whatsoever. And since then, we have taken as many measures as possible to reduce our plastic use and to eliminate as much as we possibly can of plastic. So we're using sources like aluminum and paperboard and a lot of glass, which not only is that better for our planet, but it's also better for our people. It's better for our formulas as well. We are not going to take a formula that we've put so much time and energy into making sure it is safe for consumers and then stick it in a package that in a component in a bottle that has a toxic chemical leaching into it over time, or if it's exposed to heat. So not only are we stringent about this for the environment, but we are also stringent about it for the safety of our consumers.
Yeah, it's really important. I mean, I love that. It's a reminder that beauty can uplift both our health and the planet we leave behind. But more importantly, those microplastics. I cringed the other day. I walked into, I think it was, CVS, and I looked at the makeup line, and I realized that everything is packaged in plastic. Mm-hmm. And then I thought, oh my goodness, I know for a fact we consume the equivalent of one credit card in microplastics a week at this point. And this now putting it on our skin for something like you said, to your point, that's been leaching, a serum, a cream, anything that's been sitting in that plastic. Don't want that on my face. So I love that you addressed a huge, huge issue in the marketplace. Well, that brings us at the end of our date, my dear friends. Kelly, thank you so much for joining us. You guys are amazing. Melanie, so much insight. Thank you for an inspiring conversation. And the dirty truth about makeup must be unsettling, but thanks to visionaries like you and Kelly and Sean, women now have a choice that's rooted in health, transparency, and empowerment. So thank you.
Thank you, Xen.
Thank you.
To learn more, you could visit Crunchy at crunchy.com and follow them directly on the gram at Crunchy Collection. And as Maya Angelou reminded us, when you know better, you do better. And with Crunchy, we can all choose beauty without compromise. You're listening to A Moment of Zen. I'm your host, Zen Sams. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Your Home TV with Kathy Ireland and their channel partners. Head to yourhometv.com for free, family-friendly programming, streaming 24/7.
In business and in life, there's always an upside. Finding it is often the challenge. Having a mindset that looks for it and embraces problems as opportunities is the key to thriving. Finding the upside with Maria de Lorenzo Reyes explores the transformative power of optimism, featuring visionary business owners, influential leaders, and inspiring everyday people. Tune in and see how they navigate changing conditions with optimism and innovation. Watch the special series One Tough Chick, highlighting resilient and powerful women, streaming on yourhometv.com.
Tune in to A Moment of Zen, Saturday nights from 9 to 10 p.m. on 710 WOR, the voice of New York.
Welcome back. You're listening to A Moment of Zen. I'm your host, Zen Sams. In our Brain Blueprint Express segment brought to you by the Melillo Centers, Dr. Lynn Mancinelli discusses her son's remarkable brain balancing journey thanks to the incredible Dr. Robert Melillo.
I had a baby at 42 years old. I'm a chiropractor. I knew him before I had a baby, and I always knew that he had a practice that was thriving and that he had a children's program in it, but because I didn't have a child, I really never looked into it. And then when I finally did have a baby, I saw that there's definitely some things I needed to fix about my baby. I looked into his work and I found a Disconnected Kids book. And when I read it, it was just exactly my child. It was my whole pregnancy and developmental journey that he wrote about, basically. And he came to my house when my child was 3 and told me about this brain balancing model. And I just wasn't there. I just didn't understand it. I didn't spend enough time learning it and really letting that be my Bible. And I let many years go by with doing the OT model and the special ed model and the IEP model and the smaller classroom model, and hoping that they were going to be changing his brain and catching him up so he can be more regulated and be more less sensitive to his environment, because his environment was eating him up. Everything was too loud, too bright, too much for him, and he would get overloaded and melt down. And he was a very happy kid, but he was very, very sensitive to his environment all the time, and he was a lot. And he was like raising a little lion. Like he was just had lots of energy and definitely wasn't able to regulate as often as he should have been able to. And then finally, I brought him at age 8 to Brain Balance, and it changed my life. It changed his life. It changed the skin that he was in. It changed his school environment, his friendships environments, his learning environment. It just made him all the things that he was capable of being. And he was just more grounded, more regulated. And my goal was to fix him, to actually help him have the life that I could give him, and make sure that the environments weren't eating him up, that he was able to eat up every environment. And it began with balancing his right hemisphere, and slowly but surely it started just bringing out the child that I know was in there, and he was able to enjoy the life I was able to give him. And my goal was to always fix his brain so his processing speed was working for him, not against him, and to get him off of an IEP. The reason I'm telling this story is because I'm so excited that he got declassified. There's this big IEP that he no longer needs, and it's all from Dr. Melillo. And he's been really such a miracle worker for so many families, and I own Brain Balance now because of him. And I love helping other families and other moms and dads.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by the Fieldhouse in Northvale, New Jersey, a vibrant and fresh take on youth and adult sports and family fun, and home to the New Jersey Thunder softball program. Plan unforgettable birthday parties or private events, or explore camps and programs that keep kids active and inspired. Take time for yourself in adult leagues or rent a field or court with friends. From a cutting-edge gaming cave to hitting and pitching centers and top-tier sports instructors, the Fieldhouse is reigniting the next generation of play. Head to njfieldhouse.com MoxHouse.com.
That's a wrap, my dear friends. We are at the end of our date. Remember to join me right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, every Saturday night from 9 to 10 p.m. Or you could head to 710WOR.iHeart.com/A Moment of Xen. Also remember that we're live on Traverse TV Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern, YouTube Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern, and all episodes of A Moment of Xen are now available on your home TV streaming platform. It's free, family-friendly programming to you. You can check out our channel directly at mox.yourhometv.com. It's been an absolute pleasure being your host. Thanks again to all of our sponsors that continue to make this show possible. And remember that happiness is the only thing that multiplies when you share it. We'll be back next week.